Alright, so welcome back to the channel. I know it's long overdue. It's been 10 days since the last video, but obviously there's a lot going on in the country right now, and I figured I'd let you guys sit on that. Everybody's got a lot on their minds, and so here we go. We're doing one today. It's Friday. I'm going to get this out to you hopefully today, so you might be watching it on Friday. You might be watching it on Saturday. People have asked me since I got on Instagram. I used to do a lot more tactical pictures, a lot more cop pictures, and I don't really do that anymore. Different reasons, but I've always been asked about my belt setup. How do I set up my belt? What's on my belt? Considerations, different gear, stuff like that. So first I'll go over the tactical belt or the battle belt setup that I have for missions, range days, etc., etc. And then I will go over my patrol belt setup. Now I am switching my patrol belt itself, and I will explain why in a minute. So first, let's go over the tactical belt setup. The belt that I've been using for the last 5 years, 4.5 years, is a Trex Arms Orion belt. The Orion belt is very reasonably priced compared to a lot of the other battle belts that you can get. So I'm sure that most people that look at it are like, it can't be as reliable or as long lasting as some of the other belts, the high-speed gear, the Ronin belt, stuff like that, right? And I'm here to tell you, man, I've been using this belt 4 to 5 days a week, 5-6 hours at a time for the last 5 years, and I have had zero issues. I'll go from right to left, so right front, right hip, and then we'll go all the way around the belt. But yeah, as you can see, that clip is pretty worn. It's got the typical good clips that are somewhat weight rated, although I would not use them for weight. That just tells you that's not going to break in a scrap on the ground or whatnot. That is the outer belt, and then the inner belt is obviously, or the inner belt is this padded section type belt. Okay, little hangers. They're a little bit frayed from years of use, but no, they've never broken or ripped. After that, I'm using a Vega holsters pistol mag carrier for my AR-15 tool, which is used for, I mean, it's a multi-tool, but it's also used for clearing malfunctions, etc., etc. Nothing on the back. I try to keep everything away from my lower back, just because if I'm going to sit in a car for long periods of time, that creates issues. And as most of you guys know, I have nothing but lower back problems right now. After that, we have a Maxpedition dump pouch. I think most battle belts should have a dump pouch. In fact, I'm going to say all battle belts should have a dump pouch. And I would even go as far as to say that all belts should have a dump pouch. After that, left side, for where most of my pistol mags will be gotten from, just in front of the dump pouch is the Vega holsters AR mag carrier, and then a actual pistol mag carrier from Vega holsters. And then the front, my go-to pistol mag, which is for the most part what I'm going to end up going to, because if I'm running around without a rifle doing regular normal law enforcement stuff, I'm not going to be carrying a rifle. So I'm going to have my pistol, and so that's going to be my main go-to mag. It's a Canted Trex Arms pistol mag, and I absolutely love this. Let's see if I have a mag here. Absolutely love this mag pouch. So literally it sits at an angle, and I can draw at an angle, draw just like that, out, in, it's good to go. Good, probably one of my favorite mag pouches right there, as a go-to speed reload type deal. These other mag pouches by Vega holster, I've been running those for probably a year now, and I really like them. Now let's go through some of the other pouches that I have used that I also like, and I have them here on the desk. So the main one, the first one I ever started using and was attached to my Trex Arms belt for the longest time, and you can see it's a Gcode, an older style Gcode mag pouch. It's so old that it has no elastic anymore, which is not a big deal. You could actually probably send that back to them and have them replace that, or just do it yourself. But it's not like 550 cord. It's actually elastic, so that creates an issue with longevity, because elastic in 115 degree weather in our summers, and you get that, right? The other issue I had with these, I actually ended up buying a belt slide for this particular mag holder, whereas before, when I first got them, I had these screw-in clips, which they didn't work very good at the beginning. They've since changed this design to a much better design, but I did like these hard shell scorpions that they came out with originally. These were probably my second favorite 5 years ago when I first started setting this belt up. Now there's even Gcode themselves has much better options than this. So, but these were good at the time. Gcode has since switched to more of a soft style holster. Now, an issue, so they're very similar to high-speed gear, right? So this is high-speed gear, this is a Gcode. Very similar in design. So the issue, one of the issues that I've had with these is these side panels breaking, all right? They become brittle in the heat or whatever else, maybe just abuse, and these side things break and you have to get a new one. The Gcode ones, I'm sure from stories from high-speed gear, they are actually twice as thick on the side, so those are much harder to break. Also, the material, this material is cloth. It actually can fray over time. They still work fine, they just obviously don't look as professional and as reasonable looking, versus the Gcode ones are a little bit harder to fray because it's more of it's cloth and like a rubbery material. The only issue with these is the material is very stiff in terms of getting in the mag and out the mag, which in quick reloads isn't a big deal, but when you're actually putting it in and putting it out, it actually sticks really, really good, which can become an issue, I guess, depending on how you're doing things. I think that's really it for the tactical belt. The only other thing that I put on the belt, which I don't have on there right now, is a med kit and a tourniquet. I had it on there for the longest time because there's a lot of times I'd be at the range and I wouldn't put on kit to train, and most of my stuff is on the kit, so I'd like to have one on my belt as well. I have taken it off because the one that I had on there was right at the right side of my back, which is where I'm having issues right now. Whether that caused it or not, I don't know, but I took that off and put it on my kit. So right now I only run med pouch on my kit instead of running one on my belt. But that's something that you should probably have on there. The other thing that I don't have on there currently, which I leave a spot open for it and I put a quick detach, is a handcuff holder. Just in case I end up running that particular belt on regular law enforcement duties, I can just throw a pair of handcuffs on there and good. The other alternative is I have it on my kit. But if you're not wearing a kit and all you have is a ballistic vest and a overshirt, meaning a button-up patrol style shirt, and you're using that as a patrol belt, that may become an issue. In terms of holsters, most of the holsters I run are all duty holsters, and they are Safariland, typical Safariland stuff. Right now I'm running the optic holster. When I don't, I do run the 7TS. Keep in mind the 7TS has been known to have issues in certain scenarios. If the gun is not in it and you're wrestling, or maybe the gun you've wrestled with it out of it and then you've weakened the back, it has very weak points on the back of the holster, so that can break. That can become a problem if you're in a fight and somebody tears that holster open. Just understand, I've never had it happen to me, but I have seen it happen. I've had a 7TS for 5 plus years, and it's never happened to me. Not to say it can't happen. I've also used roll top, which I would argue against at all cost. I would rather have a 7TS than a roll top. I've had issues with roll tops, being in the dirt, wrestling in a dirty environment, and rock and debris getting inside the roll top, and the roll top failing to roll, essentially not being able to get out your gun. The other issue that I've had before is dirt and rocks getting in the mechanism of the button on the inside, and then you not being able to push it down to get the gun out, and so it's stuck in the holster. So just keep in mind, it's all plastic. There can be issues with all of them. Just to understand what issues you can see in the field and act accordingly, just in case those issues come up. The other belt I'll go over briefly is my patrol belt setup. I am going away from this actual setup. Not to say that it's bad, but there is a new setup that I think is going to fix the issues I've had. The very few issues I've had with this belt. For patrol, I've always ran the Safariland, you know, run-of-the-mill nylon belt. I've ran this since 2002, even when I was a security guard, and then eventually transitioned over to detention in the jails. Eventually ran it in the jails, and then eventually on patrol. So quite simple. Some tactical keys, as the guys in police post, Mike Glover and I years ago had an issue because somebody was talking mad crap about the fact that I had keys on my patrol belt. That's where keys go. And he said, you can't be sneaky with keys on your belt. Well, guess what? I'm not normally being sneaky on patrol, and when I am, I can take these right here and put them in my pocket. And then, yeah, no noise. So, and that's very rare. That's for like a burglar call where you're looking for a suspect, or open air environment, you're looking for a suspect and you don't want him to know you're coming. Put your keys in your pocket. It's not a big deal. So anyway, yeah, he had a problem with that. Anyway, secondary around the cup. This mag pouch is, or this handcuff pouch is from 2002. This I really like. I have a lot of these. This is a prototype from, God, who is this? Tack. I'll have to look it up. I'll make sure it's in the link below. But this is a cool option. They actually make a Velcro option to go on your kit, and then they make this little loop one, which is, it was a prototype, and but they're out now and they're awesome. So I'll make sure you get that. This is a high ride UBL from Safariland, a Surefire flashlight holder, which is also from 2004-ish. That's been on my belt. A Safariland baton holder, and then nothing on the back, just as I did the other one. So what I'm getting away from with this particular belt is the front buckle, as you can see right there. Over the last 10 years, I've been through probably 4 of these, maybe 3 or 4 of these, and I always keep a spare just in case it breaks, because it is plastic. And in the dry heat that we have here, it can get brittle. The other issue I've had with these is there's no molly. So I use molly sometimes, or I use like straps like this. And it becomes an issue putting it on this belt because it's just a belt. It's just an oversized belt. So what I'm switching to is this one right here. You can read that. Ciguera gear, I believe is it called. So it's a very, very similar belt, but the two things that I told you I had issues with. So as you can see, the belt buckle itself is a Cobra buckle. And then if you look closely, it's very similar nylon design, but there's little stitch lines. Every single one of those stitch lines is a molly slot that you can use. So you can put stuff on the outside just as you do a regular belt, and then you can also put things on molly. So I will be making my patrol belt this belt from now on. I'll be switching everything over, and then I will have a D-ring that I will never have to replace, as you saw in the Trex arms belt that I have, which also has a Cobra buckle. It's been there 5 years and I've had 0 issues with it. So you're not going to rip the nylon. I've actually broke Safariland, the older Safariland model belts that have cardboard in the middle on the inside of the nylon to make them stiffer, versus these new ones are just a more heavier duty nylon. So I think this belt is going to be great for a patrol belt setup, provided your agency allows you to use that style buckle, and I don't see why they wouldn't. Again, the only thing that's missing from that particular belt right now is a med pouch. I believe that you should have a med pouch on all belts regardless, just in case you're not wearing a kit. Yeah, pretty much it, man. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to comment below. I will put a link in the bottom for all the stuff that I'm using or all the stuff that I've used in the past. If you'd like to give it a shot, I would recommend any of the stuff that I've used. Yeah, there's things I've mentioned that become an issue or can be an issue, but it's all good equipment. I think my favorite mag pouch right now are the Vega holster ones, but I think secondary, I do love the Scorpion. I'm still using Scorpion mag pouches as well. And then for a hard shell mag pouch, nothing really beats Trex arms. I think they are the master of kydex stuff right now in terms of holster pistol mag carriers and stuff like that. One last thing I will mention is Trex does have a dump pouch, which is very similar to the Max Edition one that I use. The only difference, which if you ever have your dump pouch out and you've ran with it, you understand this problem. So they've created a little catch on the top half of it, and then also a spot at the bottom half of it that you can actually attach string and put it around your leg, just as you do your low ride UBL from Safariland, to keep it from bouncing off your leg, which is, yeah, if you've ever done a running drill with stuff inside your dump pouch, it becomes a yard sale very, very fast. Anyway, I appreciate you guys hanging around. Make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. It would help me out a lot just in this growing process that I'm doing. Also check out the other videos that are here, and I appreciate anything you're doing. As always, stay safe, stay legal, make good decisions, protect you and your family, and have a good day. See ya.